He said I was too emotional when I asked about the same number calling him at midnight. One day, I answered. A woman whispered, I miss you already. I didn't argue. I just changed the locks, booked a girls' trip, and left a note. Guess who's emotional now? I'm Cassie, 34 years old. I live in Denton, Texas. I've been with Rick for 7 years. You know the kind of relationship where you just settle in? You think this is it. Not perfect, but familiar. Comfortable. Rick was never the sweetest guy. He was rough around the edges. A mechanic, always smelled like oil and cigarettes. But he could make me laugh. And when things were good, they were really good. At least, that's what I told myself. Looking back, I ignored a lot of things. Like how he never introduced me to some of his friends. Or how he always kept his phone upside down. Or how if I asked where he was, he'd say, Jesus, Cassie, why are you on my ass all the time? 6 months ago, it started getting worse. Late night calls. Same number. I noticed it because even though his screen just said unknown caller, the digits were burned into my brain after the second or third time. One night, we're sitting on the couch watching TV. His phone buzzes on the coffee table. I glance. Same damn number. Hey, babe, who keeps calling you so late? I said, keeping my voice light. He didn't even look at me. Just sighed real hard and said, you're so emotional. It's probably spam. Jesus, let it go. I felt small. Like I was being annoying. Like I was crazy for even asking. I laughed it off. Made a joke. But inside, a tiny crack opened. Midnight. 1 a.m. 2 a.m. sometimes. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I got used to staring at the ceiling at night, waiting for the phone to go off like some sick clockwork. Once, he caught me looking at his phone and said, if you trusted me, you wouldn't need to snoop. Trust. That word felt like a slap. It was a Wednesday. He was dead asleep, snoring loud enough to wake the dead. Phone buzzes. I grab it without thinking. Same number. This time, I answered. I didn't speak. Just held it to my ear. A woman's voice. Sweet, soft, like honey dripping into my ear. She said, I miss you already. Then she giggled. A low, private sound. And hung up. I sat there, staring into the dark, feeling something inside me snap. It wasn't anger. It wasn't sadness. It was cold. Like a switch flipped. Rick left early like he always did, kissing me on the forehead and mumbling love you like it was a chore. I waited until I heard his truck rumble away before I moved. First call, our landlord. Hey, is it okay if I change the locks? We had a security scare. Landlord didn't even hesitate. Of course, just give me a copy of the new key. Done. Second call, my best friend, Tina. Me. You on a girls' trip? Tina, hell yes. Where and when? By lunch, we had a long weekend booked in Galveston. Beachfront Airbnb. Margaritas planned. Laughter guaranteed. I packed a bag. Just my stuff. Not a thing of his. I took my dog, Milo, because hell if I was leaving him behind, and loaded up my car. Before I walked out the door, I wrote a note. Big black marker. 6 words. Guess who's emotional now? Good luck. I taped it right on the coffee machine because I knew he'd see it first thing. Then I left. I was already checked into our rental house with a frozen drink in hand when my phone started blowing up. Rick, where the F*** are you? Rick, why are the locks changed? Rick, are you serious right now? Rick, stop acting crazy. Come home. I didn't answer. Not once. Tina poured me another drink and said, girl, if you reply to him, I'm throwing your phone in the Gulf. Rick showed up at my job 2 days later, trying to cause a scene. My boss had security walk him out. He left a dozen notes on my car over the next week. Stuff like, you're making a huge mistake, and we can work this out if you stop being so emotional. Emotional. There was that word again. You have 1 week to get your stuff out. After that, it's going to Goodwill. He tried begging. Then he tried threats. Then he tried guilt. Nothing worked. I wasn't there. I told Tina to swing by the house around noon just to make sure he didn't trash the place. He was sulky, according to her. Barely spoke. Hauled out his boxes like a wounded animal. I never saw him again. 2 weeks after he moved out, I got a Facebook message from a woman named Lisa. She wrote, "Hi Cassie. I think I owe you an apology. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I found out after he ghosted me. I'm so sorry." Turns out, Lisa was married. Rick knew. Didn't care. They met at the auto shop where he worked. She started coming in for oil changes she didn't need. Late night calls. Secret meetups. Everything I feared was true. And worse. I told her, "You owe me nothing. Good luck with your own healing." Then I blocked her. And now? It's been 3 weeks. I'm sleeping through the night. I'm not checking anyone's phone. I'm not second-guessing my own gut. I'm not emotional. I'm just done. You would think after being kicked out, Rick would have moved on. You would think after getting caught, after all the lies, after the late-night calls, he would have been embarrassed enough to leave me alone. You would be wrong. About a month later, things started getting weird. First, it was small stuff. I'd come outside in the morning and find little things messed with. My mailbox left open. My trash can knocked over. At first, I thought maybe it was kids being stupid. Denton's full of bored teenagers. But then, I noticed footprints by my bedroom window. In the dirt. Big boot prints. Rick's size. I texted him. "Me, stay away from my house. This is your one warning." No reply. But the next morning, there was a fresh scratch down the side of my car. Deep. Long, malicious. Filed a report. Showed them the texts. Told them I suspected my ex. They couldn't do much without proof. Document everything, the officer told me. Install cameras. So I did. I bought the best security cameras I could afford and installed them everywhere. Front door. Back door. Driveway. I changed my locks again, too. 3 nights after setting up the cameras, I got a motion alert at 2:13 a.m. I opened the app on my phone, and there he was. Rick. In his stupid work boots, hoodie up, sneaking around my backyard like some idiot on a bad TV show. He wasn't just snooping, he had something in his hand. A can. Spray paint. He was about to tag the back of my house. I didn't think. I just called the police. They got there in less than 10 minutes. Found him crouched by the fence, trying to run. They arrested him right there. Destruction of property. Trespassing. Harassment. He spent 2 nights in county jail before his sister bailed him out. He sent me a letter after that. A real handwritten letter. No apology. Just 4 angry pages of, "You ruined my life. You turned everyone against me. You're not who I thought you were." I laughed when I read it. The only thing I ruined was his little fantasy that I'd stay quiet forever. One morning, about 2 weeks after the arrest, my friend Tina called me. "Tina, on the phone, Cass, you need to sit down." Me, "What happened?" "Tina, you know that girl Rick was seeing? Lisa? The married one." Me, "Yeah." "Tina, her husband found out everything, and he's pressing charges against Rick for harassment and emotional distress." Apparently, Lisa's husband found hundreds of texts, photos, messages, late-night meetups. Rick had been chasing Lisa even after she tried to cut things off, showing up at her work, her house, her gym. He even threatened her once when she didn't answer his calls. So now Rick wasn't just facing my charges. He had Lisa's husband coming after him too. 2 lawsuits, 2 police reports, and a reputation so ruined he had to quit his job at the auto shop. Tina joked that I should send Lisa's husband a thank you card. I thought about it, but honestly, I didn't want to waste 1 more second of my life thinking about Rick. Still, the drama wasn't over yet. Because Rick, being the coward he was, decided to throw one last punch before he sank. He filed a small claims lawsuit against me. claimed I stole furniture that was his. Mind you, everything in the house was either mine, stuff we bought together, or absolute junk he left behind. But now here I was, being dragged into court again. When I got the court notice, I laughed so hard I nearly cried, and then I got ready for battle. When the court date finally came, I wasn't nervous. I was angry, tired, ready to end this mess once and for all. I walked into the Denton County Small Claims Court in jeans and a clean sweater. No makeup. No games. Rick showed up looking like hell. Wrinkled shirt. Unshaven. Eyes bloodshot, probably from another night of feeling sorry for himself. He wouldn't even look at me. Good. I didn't want to see his face either. The judge called us up. Rick had filed a claim saying I owed him $3,000 for furniture and emotional damages. He even handed the judge a printed-out list of items. The judge skimmed it. "Mr. Brooks," the judge said, looking bored already, "do you have receipts for any of these items?" Rick shifted, scratched the back of his neck. "No, but we live together. It's common law or whatever." The judge shook his head. "That's not how it works." Then he turned to me. "Miss Carter, do you have anything to say?" I handed the judge my lease agreement, showing both our names and the receipt from when I purchased the living room set a year before. It was in my name, paid by my card. I also had photos of the apartment after Rick moved out. It was clear he had taken everything that was actually his clothes, his old gaming chair, and a few beat-up tools. Nothing else. The judge looked at both of us and sighed. "I'm dismissing this case. There's no evidence to support Mr. Brooks' claim. Miss Carter, you're free to go." Rick stormed out behind me, muttering curses under his breath. I didn't even turn around. 2 days later, I found out Rick had been evicted from the apartment he was crashing at. Apparently, after losing his job, the court fines, and having no real friends left. Shocking, right? He couldn't afford rent. I heard he moved into his sister's basement. I got a raise at work. I adopted another dog, a little mutt named Rosie, to keep Milo company. I even started dating again, slowly, carefully. A guy named Dean, a paramedic I met through Tina's boyfriend. Sweet, patient, honest. Everything Rick wasn't. But right when I thought I could finally breathe, Rick did one more thing. He started sending letters to my parents. Handwritten, rambling letters full of blame and half-apologies. Trying to paint himself as the victim. My dad called me after he got one. "Dad, over the phone, Cassie, don't worry." I mailed it back to him. Shredded. "Mom, you're better off without that boy." Always knew there was something wrong with him. They never liked Rick. I should have listened to them years ago. Enough was enough. I showed the judge the letters, the arrest record, the harassment report. It was approved within a week. Rick was ordered to stay at least 500 feet away from me, my house, my work, and my parents' house too. No more letters. No more stalking. No more calls. It was like he finally realized he had lost. Not just me, not just his job, not just his reputation. He had lost every single thing he thought he could control. For the first time in months, my life felt normal again. Work was good. Friends were better. Dean, the new guy, was patient in ways I didn't even know I needed. He never once made me feel crazy for asking questions. Never made me second-guess myself. We took it slow. No pressure. No secrets. One afternoon, Tina sent me a link. "Tina, text, you have got to see this." It was a news article. Local mechanic arrested in insurance scam investigation. My heart raced as I opened it. There it was. Rick's name. His mugshot, tired, hollow-eyed, greasy hair falling in his face. Turns out, after losing his job, he started working for a shady garage outside town. They were scamming customers, billing them for repairs that were never done, selling junk parts, lying to insurance companies. Rick got caught helping fake a car theft to cash out on a fraudulent insurance claim. Felony charges. Serious jail time. Not small claims court games. Not slap on the wrist trespassing stuff. Real consequences. The DA's office sent out notices asking people with any claims against Rick or the garage to step forward. To show a pattern of behavior. Guess who had documented harassment? Guess who had police reports? Guess who had security footage, text messages, court records? Me. I gathered every single scrap of paper, every screenshot, every video clip. I sent them all to the prosecutor handling the case. When they called me in to testify about Rick's character and his pattern of lying, threatening, and harassment, I didn't hesitate for a second. Court day came. Rick shuffled into the courtroom in an orange jumpsuit, shackled at the wrists and ankles. He looked smaller somehow, shriveled. Nothing like the man who used to stand over me, calling me too emotional for having normal human feelings. The prosecutor painted a picture of a man who was reckless, selfish, and dangerous. They used my evidence to show how Rick treated people when he thought he was above consequences. The jury didn't take long. Guilty. Rick got 4 years in state prison. Not probation. Not a fine. Real time. Bars. A jumpsuit. A record that would follow him forever. I didn't stay for the sentencing. After I gave my statement and the jury handed down the verdict, I walked out. I didn't need to see him hauled away. He was already gone from my life the moment I changed the locks and left that note. Guess who's emotional now? Now? I'm free. I sleep through the night. I don't check phones. I don't wait for someone to act right. Dean and I are planning a real vacation this summer. Maybe even something bigger down the road. But whether or not he stays, one thing is certain. I will never again apologize for feeling too much. I will never again mistake gaslighting for love. And Rick? He'll have plenty of time behind bars to think about the woman he tried to break and the life he lost because he thought she was too emotional.